Welcome to my channel. My name is Emmy from Emmy Evolving. If this is your first time joining me, thank you for finding me. If this is not your first time, thank you for coming back. So, quick reminder, I do have workshops coming up. If you'd like to learn about energy work, potent kind of energy work, how to tap into your personal power, and how to just be the best version of yourself possible, go check it out, k33academy.com/store. So today's reading, I asked what this reading was going to be about, and what I heard is it's becoming undeniable and impossible to resist. Okay. Let me just make sure my phone is muted. Yes, it is. It is muted. Okay. Let's get started. How are you guys doing? Let me get a few cards. Good morning, everyone. Sparkles. What sparkles? Sparkles? Ooh, I'm suddenly getting super hot. It's like suddenly. All right, guys. Ooh, I'm like burning up hot. What is that about? Hey, boo-boo. Did you finish your hair? I'm excited to see your hair. I wish I could still do fun stuff like that, but I can't. I can't. One of the downsides of alopecia areata. I cannot have any type of tension on my hair. But you know, one of the upsides is I'm hairless everywhere. Yeah. Maybe that was TMI. I'm sorry. Sorry. All right. We are ready. We are ready for this smorgasbord of information. Actually, I need to pull 3 more cards. Yeah, no, I maybe have like 2 armpit hairs. Yeah. I used to be super hairy. I used to have super thick hair and be super hairy. Like I used to have hair on my and on my ears. I used to be just a hairy little fuzzball. It's okay. That's okay. You want to see it, Village Baby. Stop it. He goes, hey, we don't want to see that. Yeah, no, you do. You do. No, you don't. Okay. Let's get started for real. Okay, it's becoming undeniable and impossible to resist. Okay, someone's stepping into their power, and okay, someone's stepping into their power, right? And as they step into their power, they're no longer wanting to contain whatever this is that they're trying to keep confined within themselves. Now, just because they're no longer going to keep it confined does not mean they can't keep it concealed. Contained and concealed are 2 different things. You are dealing with someone who has a very elevated capacity for privacy. Okay? So this is someone who likes to be very, very private, but they're not going to, I guess you could say, deny could be undeniable. It's becoming undeniable and impossible to resist. They're not going to deny anymore what it is that they really want. I'm wondering if it's you. Are you like, have you been denying what you really want? Have you been trying to convince yourself that you don't really want the very thing that you actually really want? Um, has it been something where you don't want to admit that you want an opportunity? Um, whatever it is, whatever it is, have you been trying to convince yourself that you don't want it because you're afraid you can't have it? I know quite a few empaths who consistently deny themselves, um, even the most basic things, like they deny they want this or that because of this fear of being rejected, this fear of others not understanding their wants and needs, not honoring it. You know what I mean? So you kind of just like, oh, no, it's okay. I don't want any. Yeah, you do. Yes, you do. You want it. I don't- that sounds- you want something. I don't know what it is that you want, but you want something. And you have to stop pretending that you don't want it because that's a very blockage that's preventing it from coming forward. Like, for example, um, let's use a romantic example just because that's the first thing that pops in my head. So you're pretending that it's not a big deal, this person is really not a big deal for you, and kind of just is what it is, and if something comes of it, then something comes of it, but you're really not tripping. But in reality, you are tripping, you want that, right? And because you keep having this denial of what it is you actually want with a person, um, it sends the message that you don't really want them. And so they're like, oh, okay, it's all good then. Right. So it's that thing of like, what do you really want? Make sure that you stop, at least within yourself, stop pretending like you don't want the thing that you actually do want. You got to stop doing that because you're blocking your own receiving ability, capacity to receive. Okay. So another example is like, I take my kid to the grocery store and I'm like, do you want some kombucha? He's, no, no, it's okay. I'm like, no, I'm going to get you some kombucha. No, it's okay. Hmm. Hmm. You love kombucha. Stop it. Right. So that one time where I was like, "All right, I'm gonna respect your autonomy. You don't want you say you don't want kombucha, then I won't get you kombucha." Then we get in the car and he's like, "I don't feel good because you should have got the kombucha." uh, yeah, it's one of those things, right? Sometimes the decision that we make makes us not feel good because it's not in alignment with what we actually genuinely want and need, right? So balance in reverse, feeling very imbalanced in the situation that you've allowed to create for yourself. You've allowed a situation that really disregards the gravity of your needs. Are you one of those, meaning like me, where, I mean, your stamina for this, you could go maybe for years, years with this type of behavior of denial of what you want. And then all of a sudden you just can't take it anymore, right? You would have far less complications within your life, within your circumstances, if you would just like get what you want. And it's not necessarily that you have to get everything that you want, but it is to say that you need to stop pretending that there's nothing that you want, that you're good as you are. You might be for a little bit. It's okay to want things. It's okay to want things. I think for many of us, we try and convince ourselves that we shouldn't want anything because detachment, that's not detachment, that's self denial. Detachment is not having any solidified expectations of how it will play out, right? But knowing what you want is not the antithesis of detachment. Become detached to the way you reach the outcome, not detached to any type of wants or needs. Ooh, Michael's calling y'all out. I'm not claiming none of this. I'm not claiming none of this. Michael, what did you say? I forgot. He says, sometimes the reason we do this is we're afraid that we'll actually get what we want. And there is this part of us that believes that we don't deserve what it is that we want. So this could be an opportunity, like a work opportunity, a social opportunity. It could be so many different things. So, when was the last time you looked at yourself in the mirror? And yeah, leave peace in peace. When was the last time you looked at your shadow aspects in the mirror? So, what this means is, like for many of us, we wonder why we have to face people who are mirrors of aspects of ourselves. It's a lot easier to view your behavior and Jesus loves me. It's a lot easier to view your behavior through a mirror than it is to take a good hard look at yourself. Does that make sense? Because we have too much invested in the identity we have convinced ourselves is us. So you're playing a role. You're not even good at playing it. You're not good at playing this role. You're not meant to be small, and it's showing. It's really showing. You're not meant to be small. You're meant to stand out. Um, you're meant to receive the type of recognition that is appropriate for you. And denying that, avoiding the process that leads you to that, it's not going to help you. It's going to further compound the struggles that you already struggle through. Okay. You're not going to be able to cleanse yourself of this. Ooh, dang. Okay. That's a bit charged of a Michael's giving me an analogy while he's reminding me of something. So I'm slightly brown, mildly toasted. And I remember as a child, because in my culture, there is a very prevalent colorism that exists. And the more day glow your complexion is, the more valuable and beautiful you are seen. Um, and I'm a little bit brown. And I remember as a child, um, I used to think that if I exfoliated my skin enough, because I thought it was dirt. I thought it was dirt because that's what I was told. I was told that it was like dirt on your skin and you need to get this rock. It's literally a rock. It's similar to a pumice stone. And you would be very heavily encouraged to go ahead and scrub yourself with that everywhere. And yeah, it's definitely yep. This thing of like, if you go ahead and just get rid of the dirty parts of you, then others will find you more acceptable, more tolerable, right? Um, yeah, no. No, you are who you are, and who you are, what you are is beautiful. You have to accept this about yourself. Um, when my husband and I first started dating, I would do this weird thing. I ended up giving myself a massive vitamin D deficiency because I would never allow my skin to be exposed to the sun. And when we're riding in the car, I'm like riding like this because I don't want the sun to touch my skin and turn me further brown. Um, and that was a major issue. He would be like, "What are you doing?" Like, "The sun is on me." you know? Now, I mean, this is my brown. This is my color of brown. I can get much more brown, but I would feel sick. I would feel really sick tanning. The sun makes me feel sick. Maybe that's why. Um, Maybe that's why, or maybe I'm just photosensitive. But it's this thing of not being able to accept myself, right? No, those days are over. That's not part of my identity. And I've noticed the more that I accept myself as I am and really just allowing me to see the innate beauty that lives in me, the more I'm able to accept that. The more I'm able to accept that, the more others around me are becoming reflections of um, accepting me as I am, you know? Um, Tinted windows are mostly for my fair skin. Yeah, I assume people with very fair skin would burn easily, right? Um, I burn easily too. I tan easily, I burn easily. I'm just a delicate bubble girl is what it is. You gotta keep me at a constant, like, well, it's gotten better. I can do 65 degrees. Before it couldn't go beyond the parameters of 75 to 77 degrees or I'll die. Not even joking. I'll either overheat or I will freeze because I was consistently cold. Um, I think a lot of the things that we go through are continuations of other people have imposed upon us. They've impressed upon us their own perceptions, and it's not okay. We have to clear that out so that we can begin receiving. Even that concept of you shouldn't ask for anything because you don't want to be a nuisance. You don't want to be inconvenient for other people. That needs to go as well. you know I like to tell people that I love that, if they have a hard time receiving, it's this thing of I wouldn't give it to you if I couldn't. Like I've grown past that. I won't give it to you if I'm not feeling like this is something I want to give to you and am able to give to you. So it's not a big deal. You popped in my head and I got it, and now it's yours, and enjoy it, and that's that. I think if we give ourselves permission to just have the most organic um and least restrictive, least obligatory existence with the people who love us, we would make some very, very tremendous strides forward. Yeah, like I said, I'm very, very fortunate to have the type of husband that I have. Um, he has loved me every shade of brown and yellow. He has loved me every size, every form that I've taken. We're like polar opposites, but there's never been a time where I've been made to feel that I needed to modify myself in order to be more tolerable, right? Like, I know beyond the shadow of a doubt, he doesn't just tolerate me, he prefers me. Okay. So maybe if we could reach a point where we love ourselves in that way, and I know that's going to be very difficult, something that's going to be very challenging. But if we can get to a space where we can love ourselves in that way, the type of healing that will occur is profound, very, very profound. It's becoming undeniable and impossible to resist. Maybe this is a process of you falling in love with yourself. right? Part of the reason why I can be so free to be who I am is because he's loved me in this way for so long. And even in the first like 2/3 of our relationship, it was always me just waiting, like eventually he's going to get sick of my behavior. He's going to get sick of my personality, and then that's just going to be that, and that's fine. And it wasn't fine, right? It's not fine. It's not. So we can't keep telling ourselves that it's fine. I know that I will never find another love like this. I don't want to. That's why I'm not going to find another love like this. I don't want to. I don't want to invest in anyone else in the ways that I have invested in my husband. I'm perfectly fine being alone, literally. I like myself. I tell myself funny jokes. I like myself, you know? It's the thing though, it's taken me quite a long time to admit to myself, like, no, it wouldn't be okay if he left. I could respect if he ever chose to be like, you know, I would like a different life now. And I'd be like, oh, okay. That sucks, but okay. Right. Um, Letting yourself really be honest with what you want. Just like really be honest with what you want. This is about correcting the mindset that has caused you to be able to deny so much for so long. Those are upside down cycles that there's nothing else I can take off. I am so hot. Oh, I have a fan. Okay. It's not too loud, is it? You can't hear the wind? Can you hear the wind? Okay. Makes me want like, all my single ladies, all my single ladies. Okay, let me quit. Let me quit. Yay. Okay. So let me just get my hair out of my space. These are upside down cycles that are needing to be corrected, and they are, you know. Mindy, please don't encourage me to misbehave. Please don't. I'm highly susceptible to encouragement to misbehave. I'm not. I'm not susceptible. I'm stubborn AF. I do what I want when I want. I'm just using you as an excuse, girl. So cycles in reverse. These are upside down cycles that need to be halted, right? They need to be halted. You just stop. Stop sabotaging your growth, your healing. Okay. Responsibility. High priestess. So, you know, he already knows. Mm. Mindy woke up the little hamster in my head. It's running in circles. Oh my God. Focus. Behave. Focus. Okay. So you have to be responsible for the ways in which you utilize your magic. And if you're going to use your magic in a very upside down manner, this is a lot of upside down things are going to happen. Oh, ooh, 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 ooh. I don't like this kind of stuff. I don't like this kind of stuff at all. So there's someone who's trying to step into a high priestess role, and they're doing upside down magic on you because they can't stand the fact that you are everything they tried to be and failed. I'm saying someone's jealous. Jealous. They're very jealous of your existence. It feels like a female. It feels like someone who keeps tabs on a lot of. Michaela, stop it. Let me turn off this fan because Now I'm getting too cold. He goes, "Are you cold or are you pissed?" Both. Both. um, this is someone who sees you as competition when they're not even in the same arena as you. Okay. I'll tell you guys things that I learned. For much of my life, I've had a lot of women treat me very questionably. Why? No idea. First, I'm introverted. Secondly, I'm so hyper aware of people's emotions that it makes me very skittish around people. I don't like to talk. I don't like to, um, I just like to stay in my own little silent lane because I'm aware I make people uncomfortable. And it's been this thing of like taking me nearly my entire life to realize the issue was not me because I wasn't doing anything, literally. I wasn't doing anything. These are people who would look at me or would have existing insecurities that they would project upon me. And that's what would cause them to act weird around me. If you continue to immerse yourself in environments that are toxic in that manner, you're going to start to believe that you're the issue. I've shared this before. I remember I was like, I want to say I was like 18 or 19. Um, Me and my BFF at the time, we went and we had lunch with her two guy friends, right? Like most of my friends were guys because I don't know. Guys weren't weird with me like that. You know what I mean? I guess, well, that's how I like to see it, that they saw me as one of the guys because I'm very tomboyish. And so we went to lunch and they were talking. Mind you, I didn't really say much during this lunch. And one of the guys was like, said to my friend, well, if I had something like, if I had a friend that looked like her, I wouldn't trust her around my guys either. What are you trying to say? Like, I didn't understand because I'm so highly, highly picky about who I spend my time with. So it's just this thing of like, are you trying to imply that I'm a hoe? That I've entered into my hoe era? And I looked at my girlfriend and she looked at me and she's like, don't claw him. And I was like, what are you talking about? And that's the kind of mindset that I get or used to get very often, where I would make it a point to be extra awkward with other people's, partners, just so it's like, don't talk to me. People had conditioned me to close myself down. Why? I don't know. I still don't really know. I've never taken someone else's boyfriend. I don't even find that attractive. Like, if you're in a relationship trying to get my attention, that's ugly. You're nasty. You know what I'm saying? That's just like, ew. I don't want their sloppy seconds. You're gross. Ew. Literally. Ew. Ew. So I never understood it. It's other people's projections. It's other people's projections. And when I began to no longer be apologetic for however people receive me, because the reality is this, however people receive you is on them. You can't control that. You cannot control that. You just can't. And so I began to realize, like, listen, if you're going to be insecure, I'm really not the person that you want to be around because it's going to amplify your insecurity. And then I realized I'm an amplifier catalyst. That's what my energy does. It creates a catalytic charge and amplifies it. When people are not ready for someone like me to be in proximity to them, their life goes real crazy, real fast without me even saying or doing anything. Why? Because I'm a catalytic amplifier. I catalyze change. That's what I do. I trigger change in people just by existing. And then it gets amplified the more you spend time with me. Whether I know you're spending time with me or not, that's kind of irrelevant at this point. And I used to be very apologetic. Like, did I do something? Oh my gosh, what did I do? Did I say the wrong thing? And now it's like, baby boo, you sure you want to be hanging around me? Because it's going to change your life. Because I'm the shit? No, because you're realizing you're not in alignment with where your life is at right now. And you're going to start to feel very empowered to create the changes that are necessary for you to get to where you want and need to be. I'm kind of like the person who helps you to come to terms with the fact that you do want things and you don't need to deny it anymore. Unless it's me that you want, deny it more. Put a little more cowbell into that denial and leave me alone. And that's the thing. This is like a Piscean empath type energy where we do this for others and then they kind of get it in their head like, oh, she wants me. No, baby boo, I don't. I promise I don't. Like, just because I can celebrate someone's aesthetics does not necessarily mean that I am plotting to make you mine. You know what I'm saying? It's just one of those things. It's one of those things. We have to understand the way we are received. It's not always going to be in the way that we intend. Like, I remember one time I was doing a live stream and I was talking about brushing my tongue, right? And I I don't even know how we got onto the topic, but I totally was talking about brushing my tongue and how I figured out, because I'm all about bacterial regulation. I figured out that if you flatten your tongue like really flat, as flat as you can, it kind of negates the gag reflex. And I'm over here like, yeah, no, you can get it further back. And then I was like, hold on, because first off, everyone stopped commenting, immediately stopped commenting. And then it was this really weird energy flowing through the live stream. And I was like, hey, whoa, I'm talking about brushing my tongue. And then I remember Lisa Love comes on. She goes, cause cousin, I was like, what did I step into? I just arrived. I was like, oh my God. Yeah, I don't know why. I don't know why. Everyone just receives everything that I say as some type of sexual something. Whatever. That's on you. I'm talking about brushing I was so genuine in this. I was talking about brushing my tongue. I was not like trying to do any innuendos. I was like, yeah, no, if you totally like flatten your tongue, like press it down on they're like, I was like, y'all are too much. That's not my issue there. That's not my issue there. You could use that information however you want, but I'm just saying, if you would like to brush the very back of your tongue, that's what you can do. If you have an excessive gag reflex, I can feel my husband's probably like, what are you talking about? What? That's what always happens. And he even told me like, because my husband has white hair, right? And I'm totally like old man fetish. Oh, he's right there. He said I can't say that anymore. See, you see? What are you talking about? He said I can't say anymore that I have old man fetish. What? What? I worked really hard to turn your hair white. I worked really hard to stress you out like that. Let me enjoy the fruits of my labor. Okay, protection in reverse. You don't need to be protected from anything. You just don't. What you need to protect yourself from is your insecurity. Stop listening to that, right? Yeah, that every time. Old man fetish. You can't say that without doing the old man fetish dance. You can't. It's just not right. Like, look, old man fetish. That looks so fake. It feels so fake. But when I do the little dance with it, old man fetish, you can feel the validity and accuracy, the honesty of that. You see, it's too late. It's too late. Too late. It's just because you a fine ass old man is what it is. He just a fine ass old man. I like it. Okay, I will now stop. I will now stop. Card number 41, bring it into form. It's becoming undeniable and impossible to resist whatever it is you're trying to bring into form. So just do it. Bring it into form, right? You going to get in trouble. I like it. I like when I'm in trouble with him. La 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 la. Yeah, and for like any guys who are getting this, you know, trust me. Trust me. You can't handle a person like me. You can't. Don't get any ideas of trying to slip into my DMs. You can't handle a person like me, and I'm not starved for attention. So leave me alone. Card number 20, softly, softly, the tender touch. You gotta be a little bit gentle with yourself. You do. You do. I think for many of us who have tried to deny and tried to resist the very thing that we want so badly to bring into form, um, I think we've gotten, or you guys have gotten far too aggressive in your communication with self, right? Far too aggressive, or you're like, oh my gosh, I'm so dumb. Stop. Stop. As an educator and professor of quantum chaotic sciences and aura spectra, bioregenesis, applied biospiritual theories, um, stop. You're not dumb. I have zero tolerance for dumb people. I'm just gonna be honest. I do. I have zero tolerance for dumb people. People who, you know, yes, zero tolerance. You're not dumb. You're not. You're not. You're just not. So stop. Um, Collaborative dreaming in reverse. You're not going to be allowed to remain in this stupor that you've been in. You've been stupefied. You've been stupefied. What does that even mean? Hold on. Stupefied. Make someone unable to think or feel properly. Oh, I love it. Let's see what exactly it means. Astonish and shock. Dumbfounded. Okay, let's see. Ooh. Stupere, be struck senseless. Ooh, you lose your senses. To make stupid, groggy, or insensible, astonish, astound. It's a transitive verb. Okay. I think you have stupefied someone, or someone is attempting to stupefy you. The intrigue. The intrigue. Are they doing it for malignant intentions? Or are they, is this someone who is trying to get your attention And they're very, very, oh, what? I never knew this card had a nipple exposed. Several nipples exposed. I'm sorry. Oh Lord, look. There's exposed nipplies. Um, okay, get back on track. Is this someone doing it to you? Like, what is their intention? Or is someone kind of feeling like you've stupefied them, right? I have this weird relationship with nipples. I have I have I've tattooed a couple guys in my life. Um, two of them were the husbands of ladies who were good friends at the time. One of them is still a very good friend. So um it's weird. It's weird. Like, why would you have me tattoo something on your chest and I'm like right by your nipple? That makes me feel weird. The only nipples that should be around my vicinity are my husband's. And it's just weird. It's weird. I don't know. I had to share that. I don't know. It's weird. That's why I don't tattoo people anymore. Because like, I don't know. Like, why don't you let me tattoo your arm or something, or like the lower part of your leg, not anywhere near the groin. Like, there's areas where it's just like I don't want to be around that. And I remember I remember one of my friend's husbands wanted this like crazy ass tattoo on his chest. And I was like, "Do you have band-aids?" And he's like, "Oh, for what?" "For your nipple." I just it's gross. Makes me wanna dry heave. I don't know. I don't know. I wonder if aliens have nipples, though. I think some species do. Let me get back on track. Card number 26, relax the hold of darkness and be at cause. Really allowing yourself to just relax. Just relax. I have no chill. And that's impossible. That's why I laugh. Relax the hold of darkness and be at cause. Really just allowing yourself to be aware of where your mind is. Like you just saw me do that right now. It's like, no, we're not exploring the world of alien nipples. We're getting back on track because class is going to start soon. You have to be able to be aware of the ways in which your avoidance of certain things is actually what's causing further complications and delays. After the storm in reverse, I don't think the storm is ending. I don't think that it needs to. I think that your environment is so just parched. That's why you're thirsty. I think it's parched. You're parched. You're parched. And you need a little bit of that storm to kind of I might be ovulating. I'm not going to finish that sentence. Card number 29, seeing the true you. Letting yourself finally see who you are. You know what I mean? I think some do. Lisa, stop. She's like, Lisa, don't encourage it. But I think some species actually do, but they're not on the chest. Let me just seeing the true you. So there's two versions of you, the you that you see and the you that other people see, right? You can't, again, you can't fully control how other people will see you, but you can control the way you see yourself. You can modify your perception of yourself to the degree that you can really begin to understand who you are. It's becoming undeniable and impossible. Okay. I'm trying to get back in control of my thoughts. Things are about to ramp up against the grain in reverse. So you're trying to flow with things, right? Your soul is trying to get you to flow with things. What do you feel? But you're trying to ignore how you feel about it. It's not going to work. Yep. Intuition in reverse. You're trying to really, really avoid whatever this is. What you're trying to avoid is a cosmic connection that's causing upheavals in your emotions. Hmm. Soul is calling you out because it's just calling you out, and you're gonna need to deal with that. um, Everything's upside down. Celestial teacher, if you think someone's gonna teach you how to sift through whatever this wreckage is, because it feels like wreckage at this point. The way you see yourself, the way you flow through it, it's like you're just trying so hard to avoid it. There's some sort of trauma that's preventing you. You know what I mean? You don't want to believe in yourself. You're lacking the gratitude to recognize, excuse me, that this difficult process is actually serving you. It's happening for you. It's becoming undeniable and impossible to resist. Hold on. Okay. Patience. You have to be patient with this process. I wonder if you're dealing with someone who is using patience. Ooh. I wonder if you're dealing with someone who is using patience as a delay tactic, as an avoidance tactic. They're trying to claim that they're being patient, uh, but in reality, what's happening is they're afraid to step forward. They're afraid to step forward and speak up, speak out, all of that good stuff. Transformation. Nothing's going to change until you put the effort into that change, until you provide the emotional fuel that is necessary to transform whatever the circumstance you're dealing with is. All right. So, needing to flow through the process of being very, very upside down in your shadow work. A lot of what is taught in spiritual circles at this point, not all, but a lot of the things that are taught in spiritual circles it's not beneficial for you. It's really not. For anyone that's taken any of my workshops or has been part of my learning programs, um, certification program, please do share if you feel that the things I teach very much contradict a lot of the stuff that is widely, widely shared across spiritual communities. Um, it's a lot of it, I would say maybe about 97% of what's being spread through spiritual communities is not just inaccurate, but an actual falsity, a full on lie. For many of us, very upside down in our shadow work because of what we've learned from these spiritual communities. Those type of communities, because our community is not spiritual. Our community is about empowerment, autonomy, sovereignty. We are a sovereign community. The spiritual type communities, and I've been part of quite a few, um, they really, from what I've seen, and maybe things have changed, but from what I've seen when I was part of those things, gosh, they exist because the leaders of those communities rely on your lack of awareness, your lack of courage to ask questions, courage to, you know, I guess they see it as a challenge the status quo, right? I've had quite a few people get real mad at me because I ask questions, because I don't just blindly believe what they are saying. One guy, it was almost a cult like environment at that point. You were not allowed to ask him any questions. And finally, when I got pissed off at him, I'm not even ashamed. I went on his live stream while he was live and I asked him a question about his project. I was like, "Do you know what you're building? Do you know what's going to happen once you have this like arc built?" And he was like, "You have to just trust," but I don't trust you. I was like, Are you aware that you're trying to create a harmonic resonance portal? What are you trying to bring through this portal?" He didn't like that. He didn't like that, which is fine because I don't like him. I don't. I don't. Um, a lot of what you need to do is going to be intuition based, right? You're going to have to feel through the process. You're going to have to really just allow yourself to question, like, why do I want to do this? Why? What is it that I'm trying to do? What am I participating in? And you have to just let yourself observe the answers as they arrive. It's becoming undeniable and impossible to resist. Maybe it's this thing of wanting to grow beyond the confines of what you've existed through. It's not enough to merely exist. It's not enough to merely exist at this point. Abundance, Sijal, you know, abundance can come in many forms, not just monetarily. And it's not just positive. You can be abundant in struggle, strife. So be very aware of what it is you want, what it is you've been trying to resist and why. And then allow yourself to come to some type of understanding of how you will go about achieving, acquiring the very thing that you really, really, really want and need. Right? Right? Blissful. It's never been enough to just exist. People will tell you that that's the goal, to exist in a way that's comfortable, that's easy. That, excuse my truth, that's a bullshit as fuck goal. Right? Like, Emmy, why does it always have to be like you don't have to struggle? Okay, where are you in life? Because I had someone come on a live stream like, it's so irresponsible of you to teach people that they have to struggle to earn things and learn. And I never said you had to. I said that was the most efficient way for soul to teach you. Because in that struggle, you're being placed deeply in the environment, circumstance, situation that will grow you in the way you are designed to learn. We're all designed to learn differently. We are all designed to learn differently. Like for me, if you show me a problem, I will find a solution quickly. But my solution will be a not so easy solution, but it will get you from point A to point B in the shortest amount of time. And it will conserve the most of your resources, your energy, and all of that. Now, is going to be the hardest option, but it's the fastest. You struggle for the least amount of time. And people be like, there's an easier way. Yeah, but then you got to like go all the way around and around and around and around and around. I'm totally the person who, like, if you give me a dolly and there's maybe 10 steps, um, or, or I can go through like a quarter mile worth of ramp, I'm going to take the 10 steps. I'm going to take the 10 steps. It's going to take a lot more muscle, a lot more, struggle, but it's going to be a lot shorter. Right? So it's that kind of thing. Right. People don't want to hear the truth. They want to hear, most people want to hear what's in alignment with the story they've told themselves. It doesn't make them bad people. It's called cognitive dissonance. When you contradict the story they've told themselves, you trigger them. Because your truth, as you express it, threatens the lie that they've been living and have become accustomed to. And they get real combative depending on how intensely that um, cognitive dissonance was triggered, they get real combative, real aggressive. That's okay. I like aggression. That's okay. Oh, and this, Betty says they're not ready or mature enough. Again, it's true. Either they're not ready or they haven't reached a level of maturity yet to be able to handle what you are sharing. That doesn't make them a bad person or less than. It just means they're a different place within their journey. And this is why I don't try and force people to know and agree and understand the things that I'm talking about. I've had many people try and ridicule me for talking about things that, they don't understand. That's okay. I was there at some point. You're not going to be allowed to disrespect me, but you're not going to be forced to agree with me either. I'm not going to further explain something you didn't have the capacity to understand the first time you saw it to begin with. Right? Like I shared once that chakras are actually remnants of our status as an enslaved species. Um, they're restrictors, they're placeholders for the full gambit of that frequency band. They're just a placeholder. People are like, oh no, my chakras are good. Okay, well, that's good. I don't run chakras. You ask me, how do you reach those frequencies? I don't have chakras. The only time I have a chakra is when it pops out because my soul has determined it's time to restrict that band of frequency in order to facilitate some self healing, growth, learning, that kind of thing. Oh, and people will be like, oh, you can't just pull things out of thin air. Who said I did that? Just because you're not aware that there's a secondary Akashic records that is highly exclusive. Not everyone can reach that. Mm-hmm. That information is contained there. I didn't pull out of thin air. I didn't. Ooh, people were just so pissed off that I shared that, though. Like, why are you mad? Well, you need to explain. I don't need to explain something you're not able to understand right now. Come back in a couple of years. I promise you, in a couple of years, everyone will be talking about that. And then you'll be like, oh my God, I get it. Okay, good. You get it when you're ready to get it, not when I tell you you need to get it, not when you demand from me to force you to get it. See what I'm saying? So it's up to you how you want to interact with these people who are trying to create an abundance of struggle, an abundance of suffering within you, this internal strife. What ends up happening is when you try and maintain an external peace that never existed, you create an internal war. You know, we are needing to end that internal war. We just are. One of the things that I'm really working on now is I will not continue to injure myself just to prevent you from recognizing how injured you are and how you've just been bleeding over everybody. Like, no, no. It will make sense to everyone in like 4 years. I mean, that's what I've seen. That's what I've seen. Like, I no longer try and um it's not our job to wake people up. It's just not. You just got to let people, receive from you what they choose to receive and let them toss away or shelve what they're not ready for and just be okay with that. You know? Um we all learn at a different pace. There's things that I just struggle so hard to learn, right? For astrology, that bitch. Astrology is a hoe. Like, I get it, but I don't. I get it, but then the moment I try and apply what I understand, my mind goes blank. My soul does not like that. And I'm just like, you're a hoe, astrology. So I leave it alone at this point. I've had people who are very skilled in teaching others about astrology. They've tried to teach me, and it's just, yeah, don't waste your time. Don't waste your time on me like this. It's just in one ear, out the other. In one ear, out the other. I go blank. I can, teach myself all kind of different things very easily, very quickly. Astrology, I'll choke that bitch. Oops, I'm sorry. It gets me so frustrated. That's like, it fucks with my ego because it's like, why? Why can't I absorb this information? I just can't. I can't. Therefore, astrology is a hoe. Calm down, girl. You're getting serious. You're getting serious. Calm down. Calm down. See, it starts as a joke and then suddenly it's serious. It's okay. There are certain things that we excel at and other things that we don't. And you got to be okay with it. You can try, put some effort and try and try and try. And then, after a certain point, you got to just accept if something is not for you. One of these days, astrology, you're going to be my bitch. I'm saying one of these days, astrology, you better watch the fuck out because I'm going to own you. I'm going to ride you. Moving forward. Card number 45, Awaken Gnosis. um, Awaken Gnosis. You have to awaken your understanding, your knowledge. Let that knowledge begin to ripen. So here's the thing. I know I gotta stop. I gotta stop. So here's the thing. Gnosis is a very, very old word. It means knowing, right? Well, gnosis is not enough. Gnosis is the first step to actually fully step into your sovereignty. Gnosis is knowledge, but knowledge is not enough. You know a lot of things, but if you don't apply the things you know, then it's just senseless facts. It's just senseless facts. So, what do we need to do? We need to apply the knowledge and create wisdom in that application. When you apply the knowledge, you're using your wisdom at that point, right? So people are like, Emmy, how can you be so wise? I don't think I'm wise, but that's what they ask. And it's like, well, because I've been through so much in life, so much shit. It's like ridiculous, you know? It's ridiculous. And that's why I can grasp so much, is because I've been through so much. And in what I've been through, I've taken the time to really assess, really learn what it is I've learned, and then to apply it. That's what you guys are witnessing. Me applying what I've learned after having experienced the things that I've experienced. And I know someone had commented something about gang stalking. I've been gang stalked by multiple groups. I've been cyberbullied, gang stalked, all kind of shit. Where are you at now, bitches? You still a fan? Fuck you. Okay, I'll stop. Michael goes, what? Sometimes I get sick and tired of people. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. I just had to let that off my chest. I said it with my chest. Okay. Anyways, attract sigil, but it's in reverse. So it's like repelling. You are pushing away the very things that you need, the experiences, the people, all of that. Just stop pushing. Stop being a pusher. Now I'm saying, Stop being a pusher. Okay, dispel darkness. There's no darkness that needs to be dispelled. You need to actually explore. Explore the darkness that lives inside you, because that's where you'll find a large bulk of the knowledge that you've processed and then shelved. Direction sigil. You probably just need to get lost. You need to have a sense of feeling lost so that you can make it your priority to find yourself once again. So, card number 40, rebirth of magic, bringing forward all of this beautiful magical stuff about yourself that you have so successfully denied. Okay. Now we're going to do this. Good morning, Marlene. Good morning. No, I still don't want you to give your opinion on things. You can give it to me privately later. Card number 43, lunar eclipse change. 3 things cannot be long hidden: the sun, the moon, and the truth. Ooh, undeniable and impossible to resist. You cannot hide this from yourself any further. These will not be gradual, easy, barely noticed transformations. Your world may be rattled somewhat. It's about inevitable change, bringing in the new, memory dissolution. So the blockages are being dissolved through the recollection of your memories. You know what I'm saying? Card number 6. Let's see. Saturn, truth. As she has planted, so does she harvest. Such is a field of karma. Karma is nothing more than a miasmic distortion, frozen light code. Frozen light code is when you pause a lesson and then eventually it defrosts and you're able to learn, continue the learning process. It may feel bad now, but it's going to be resolved. This card deals with power and control. It's about restrictions, having tough luck, being put on hold, feeling denied. Someone's feeling very denied. Restriction, penalties, shattering experiences, disappointment, and growth. Okay, I'll behave. Restrictions, penalties, shattering experiences, disappointment, and growth. I'll behave. I'll stop. I'll stop. I'm serious. I'll stop. I'll stop messing around. So the ways in which you fight your soul is the ways in which your soul will correct you. Does that make sense? The ways in which you fight your soul are the ways in which your soul will correct you. If you want to be combative, your soul will reflect that and create combative circumstance for you. If you want to be passive and avoid, your soul will then withhold. That's how it reflects it back to you. Okay. So card number 21, Sagittarius IC. Michael says to further explain. So I was struggling through distortion for quite a bit, right? I was very distorted in the way that I would see myself and my abilities, my capabilities, my purpose, all of that. Very, very distorted because I grew up very devoutly religious. I even wanted to be a nun for quite a few years. It was this thing of seeing myself and my abilities as very demonic. Like, I probably have a demon issue. And that's why I can do what I do. And so what happened was the way I denied myself is the way my soul corrected me. It brought me across the paths of multiple people who have the capacity, the willingness, and the to accuse me of being demonic and basically gang stalk me. If y'all knew the shit that I've been through because of certain people, you would understand why I'm like, where are you at now, bitches? Right? And not be sorry about my vulgar aggressiveness. Right? So that's the thing. I don't have to remain angry or upset about that. I can toss a little salt there once in a great while, but I don't have to remain in that space of negative feeling towards what I went through because I realize, I understand, and I accept. I needed to see that I was seeing myself as demonic, and these people were nothing but externalized projections of an internal circumstance. I was at war with myself and my truth. It became undeniable, and it became impossible for me to resist the reality that I'm actually not a bad person and there's nothing demonic about me. Unfortunately, I couldn't continue with that storyline that I had told myself. Um, those people were not confirmation of my demonic nature, this demonizing of myself. No, they were external projections of my internal consistent attack on myself. So you got to be careful about the way in which you fight your soul, because your soul will use that to correct you. Okay. So card number 21, Sagittarius, I see. Luck is not chance, it's toil. Fortune's expensive smile is earned. So to those people who think like, oh, life doesn't have to be earned, like, oh, Emmy, you're so bad because you're teaching people that they have to struggle for things that belong to them. No, they don't struggle for things that they belong to them. They struggle to release themselves from the prison they created for themselves. That's where the struggle is. It's like, why do you have to undo the prison wall brick by brick when you have the key to unlock that door? That's a choice that's made because of the lack of awareness, not because of the incapability, not because you're being punished, not because life is not supposed to be blah, 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 blah. No, it's a choice that's made due to lack of awareness. And if you lack the maturity to receive the information that will gift you elevations in your awareness, then you're kind of in a clusterfuck. How else are you going to do it? You don't want to hear what anyone else has to say, but you don't want to struggle, which is a result of not wanting to hear what someone who's been through that process before you is sharing with you. I mean, who else do you want to blame? Right? So that's why we struggle. We don't want to hear the input from someone who's been through it. It's like when you're a teenager, you think you know everything, and you got to go through all of that crap, all of the hardship and just the ugliness of life in order to learn firsthand that, you know what? I think maybe my parents really were onto something, and they really were just looking out for me. ADHD doesn't help sometimes, but for sure. Um, you know, if you learn how to utilize your ADHD, it becomes a superpower. A lot of people with ADHD have this ability to hyperfixate to the degree that any issue, you can find a solution that leads to a resolution. That's one of my most highly developed skills, finding a solution for anything and everything. How do I do that? Well, because I have ADHD, raging ass ADHD. So it's either I'm way over there, just la la la, or I'm hyperfixated, right? It's one of those things. So let's see. Sagittarius, freedom, exploration, lucky breaks, religion, travel, philosophy, and honesty. Your future looks promising because you're ready to expand and grow beyond your limits. If you do encounter difficulties, you will surmount them easily and move forward to your next lucky break in life, which should be coming soon. So, as long as you are willing to allow yourself to see clearly the process that you're in and support yourself, um, empower yourself by receiving the support from others, people who are genuine in their desire to support you, you'll get through it very easily. But you have to be willing to do that. It creates a very uncomfortable need for vulnerability because you need to be vulnerable, right? You need to allow yourself to be vulnerable in order to receive the help. It's a very vulnerable feeling to ask someone for help. Card number 1. Oh, and Michael's telling me to remind you guys, hyper independence is a trauma response. It's because people have failed you so consistently that you're no longer willing to allow them to fail you again. So you don't ask. You don't ask for help. You don't ask for anything. Okay. So card number 1, Sun Spirit. There is a vitality, a life force, an energy, a quickening that is translated through you into action. And because there is only one of you in all time, this expression is unique. Within this matrix, there is only one you, but there's usually 12 of you that spring forth from the higher octave of 12 and 12 and 12 and 12, all the way up. The sun is a desire to bring on the outside what exists on the inside. It is a positivity that trumps anything negative. This card says all eyes are on you. All things that are truly meaningful are starting to happen now. And this card gives an emphatic yes to your reading. So it's becoming undeniable and impossible to resist. Yes. Yes. You may find yourself singled out, perhaps in a dramatic situation where you show your skills in some impromptu way. Minopon says fast track to major success. It just came through. Life force, power, influence, radiance, the heart chakra, stage presence, charisma. This is a progressive energetic card which foretells of prodigious things on the future, on the horizon, I mean. This card indicates that matters will be going your way, but leadership on your part will be necessary. It's time to act and take your place in the sun. So it's time for you to no longer deny yourself the very thing that was created for you. Opportunities, connections, and things like that. You need to come harvest the seeds that you planted, the soils that you toiled over. You need to come harvest all of that. If you don't want to, then nothing will come of it. And then you'll struggle. And then you'll begin to crave the very thing that you could have just easily harvested, right? If you do allow yourself to go through this, it's going to be bountiful. You're going to have all the things that you've wanted. You're going to have the opportunities that you've craved. So it's up to you. It's up to you what you'll do with it. You, as a sovereign, are the final decision maker. I'll like attention to the things that you might need to pay attention to. And then it's completely up to you to decide what you do with that awareness. That's called sovereignty. To be a sovereign, you must respect other people's sovereign state, sovereign nature. Okay. So guys, I hope this reading resonated and that it encourages you to really pursue the very things that would make you happy long-term. I found that everything that I'm afraid of is actually everything that I ever needed. Let that sink in a few layers so that it can reach the core of you. And then you'll see the reason you're afraid is because you felt that you were unworthy. And you're merely in the process of remembering how worthy you actually are and how that thing that you wanted has been yours this entire time. It's a very beautiful life, especially when you allow yourself to see the beauty of it. I will see you guys again soon. I'm going to try and come live later this evening to do expedites, personal readings, scans, energy work. I hope you guys can join me. Please give this video a thumbs up. If you haven't already subscribed, please do subscribe. Turn on that notification bell. Join me when I'm live. I'll see you guys again very soon. Bye, everyone.